Hi guys! Welcome to today's brunch. Today we are going to be making something I had all the time as a kid because my mother really likes them. We are going to be having Monte Cristos. A Monte Cristo is kind of like a grilled ham and cheese, but the bread is like French toast instead of normal bread. And they are really delicious, sweet and savory, really nice comfort food. So I'm really excited to have today's brunch. But first, let's get started with our breakfast cocktail. Okay, for today's cocktail, we're going to be making a Bloody Mary, but with a special twist. So I'm gonna start with a shaker full of ice, add 4 ounces of vodka, add a can of V8, one teaspoon of horseradish, a teaspoon of Worcestershire, about 10 drops of Tabasco, and now for the secret ingredient, I picked up a jar of pickles from Pickle Me Pete at the farmer's market, and I've got all this delicious pickle juice left and 2 half-sour pickles. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add an ounce of the pickle juice and keep these pickles for the glasses. Shake it up. So I've got 2 glasses and I use these big cubes because they allow for a little bit of space. And in that space, I'm going to stick a whole pickle. Now pour the mixture evenly between the 2 glasses. Add a straw, and we're done. Pickle Bloody Marys. Okay guys, time to move on to our Monte Cristos. The first thing that we're going to do is slice up the bread that we're going to use. And I stopped at the farmer's market yesterday for this delicious loaf of brioche. You want to use a really nice bread for these sandwiches. This is a little bit sweet. It's very delicious, so we're going to use this. I'm going to slice it into pretty thick slices. 4 slices of bread, ready to assemble. So I said these were ham and cheese sandwiches, and traditionally people use Swiss cheese for these, but Brandon doesn't like Swiss cheese that much, so we are going to be using some Gruyere. And I'm gonna go ahead and slice that Gruyere into really thick slices. And if you wanna use normal Swiss cheese already sliced, that's okay too, and probably a lot easier than what I'm doing here. The first thing that goes on a Monte Cristo is actually a layer of mustard and mayonnaise. I'm not crazy about mayonnaise, so I'm just gonna add a little tiny bit and I'm gonna mix that in with the delicious Dijon mustard. I'm also going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Okay, so now we are ready to assemble our Monte Cristos. We're going to start by putting a layer of the Dijon and mayonnaise mixture on one side of the bread. Next, we're going to do a layer of the cheese. Then we're going to do a layer of our delicious thick cut ham. And then we're going to do one last layer of cheese. Okay, now the sandwiches are assembled. And you can just put them together and let them hang out for a minute while we get the last part ready. Now the secret to Monte Cristos is that they are dipped in egg and milk like French toast and then grilled. So we're gonna mix up 2 eggs and some milk and scramble that up for dipping the sandwiches in before we grill them. So turn your heat on to medium and melt a couple tablespoons of butter. Sip your cocktail. While the pan gets hot and the butter melts, we're gonna dip our sandwiches. So I've got this huge sandwich on this delicious brioche. And I'm just gonna take either side and dip it in the egg milk mixture. Okay, just like that. Can get a little messy. And let that sit. Okay, so now we have our 2 sandwiches dipped in egg, ready to go on the pan, which is just about hot. So let's put these guys on. Now I'm doing this over medium because these are really thick sandwiches and they're gonna take a long time, but I don't want them to burn on the outside. So we're gonna cook them slow at a medium heat. Now while our sandwiches cook, we're gonna do a couple things. The first thing we're gonna do is make a side of fruit salad. I've got here some strawberries and blackberries and a little fresh mint. And I'm just gonna chop all of this up and put them in a bowl. And then add just a little sprinkling of just normal sugar. I'm gonna measure out maybe a tablespoon. Then what I'm gonna do is I have an orange that I need to use up, so I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit of this orange juice in here. And we're gonna let that hang out until we're ready. Let's check on our sandwiches. Okay, so we might have had our heat on a little high. Let's turn that down. They're looking a little overdone here. I think they'll actually be okay. We just heated them up a little too much. The good part about this is though, we're gonna top this with some powdered sugar and dip it in maple syrup, so no matter what, it's gonna taste good. And next we're gonna make our maple syrup. So when I was little, I used to eat my Monte Cristos dipped in maple syrup. My mother ate them that way. She's from Vermont, so she dips everything in maple syrup. I'm not kidding. She really likes the stuff. And so we're gonna do a combination of the maple syrup and another way people do it, which is to spread jam on it. So I'm gonna make a black currant jam maple syrup. It's basically how you make an infused maple syrup. Just mix some jelly or some jam in with your maple syrup, and that's what we're gonna dip our Monte Cristos in. So I'm just gonna take the maple syrup, and I've got these little cups, and I'm just gonna pour it in the little cup and serve it on the side. I think our Monte Cristos are done. I can see cheese coming out the side. Everything looks cooked all the way through. I mean, yeah, clearly. So I'm gonna take these off, and I'm just gonna let them sit for a second until we're ready. I'm gonna take the delicious fruit salad that we made and put a little bit of that on each plate. Then I'm gonna slice my delicious Monte Cristos in half diagonally. Ooh, it's steaming and everything's melty in the middle. It looks delicious. Put those right on the plate. And the last thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna sprinkle a little powdered sugar on each one. That's how I always have it. So that's what we're gonna do, guys. So now we've got our beautiful Monte Cristos. I'm so excited to eat this. It's gonna be...
We're not done?
So that's it, guys. We're gonna wrap a little bit early because Brandon is so hungry he can't wait for me to finish. But thanks so much for making brunch with us. I hope you like your Monte Cristos and delicious Bloody Marys, and we will see you again on the next Brunch with Lily. Bye.